Vickerman enters the zone before feeding Kingston McPherson, who walks in, shoots, and scores. McGregor makes a move on the entry before toe-dragging to find some room. Will McGregor gets a backhand shot away, and it slides in behind the netminder.
His shot is stopped. He plays the rebound down low, and Rashad Eichenberg buries it for his first as a Navy vet.
There you see some special moments for new members of the Navy vets over the weekend. On Friday night at Southwood, it was Kingston McPherson and Will McGregor scoring their first junior goals. Then on Saturday night in Wellesley, Rashad Eichenberg buried that one. That was his first goal as a Navy vet, as well as his first goal in junior hockey. Unfortunately for the Navy vets, though, those were some of the only bright spots over the past 3 games. Welcome to the Anchortown Report, everybody. My name is Darren Stevenson. I am your host, as well as the executive producer of 519 Sports Online. As we look back at the weekend, it was certainly a bit frustrating for Woodstock, dropping all 3 games last Friday night against the Paris Titans at Southwood. Cole Kersey scored the game-winning goal for the Titans with a little over 3 minutes to go. That ended up in a 6-5 final for Paris. Then Woodstock traveled on the road Saturday night. It was their first road game of the season. Close game through 2 periods. Wellesley takes control in the third, that one ending with a final score of 7-3. Then a rare Tuesday night game. It was the return matchup from Friday night's game against Paris. This time it was at the Brant Sports Complex, and it's the Titans winning a second straight game over the Navy vets. The final score on Tuesday night in Brant was 5-2 for the Titans. So a bit of a disappointing weekend for the Navy vets. At this point, they are near the bottom of the standings in the Doherty division. We chatted with Woodstock head coach Justin Elms to kind of break it down, see where the team's at, and how they can get back on track going into this weekend's game when they will host the Norwich Merchants on Friday night. Here's our conversation with Navy vets head coach Justin Elms. Things did not go the Navy vets' way over the past couple of games. Here's Justin to break it down, the head coach. Give us a sense of what happened, Justin, over the past 3 games. A bit of a tough go for the Navy vets.
Yeah, I'd say it's a consistency thing for us right now, I think. Some guys still getting used to being in Woodstock, a lot of new faces still. Like, we're still learning about the guys, what kind of player they are, where they thrive, and maybe don't as much. And we've kind of just been trying guys everywhere a little bit, just to kind of get that sense. But it just comes down to consistency, I think, in how we're playing the game. This weekend, well, I guess the last 3 games, Friday night we start up 2-0, end up not being able to hold on. Wellesley on Saturday night, we give up a couple early. Paris, we give up a couple early, and we just can't keep playing from behind.
Talk a little bit about the chemistry. Sounds like everybody's starting to try to get to know each other and jive a little bit. That's something obviously that's going to allow you to win over the course of the season. Is this team becoming tight and becoming close? That's just something that's going to come with time, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Like, a lot of guys up until the first day of camp in September, like, they'd never even heard each other's names before. Right? Now all of a sudden you're playing on a line and expected to play in a regular season game 10 days after you got here. Like, it's tough, right? It's early. Also with the Tuesday night game last night, like, we missed out on a practice. We're a Tuesday night practice team. So we've only had really 2, maybe 3 full team practices, and just not much time for guys to get used to each other. But I do know some of the guys have some stuff planned this weekend coming up, with just 1 game on Friday. So hopefully that can bring guys a little bit closer together.
And here's the best part about junior hockey players. They have short memories, and I think that's something that you guys need to focus on right now, is take some of the positives but erase a lot of it and kind of start fresh on Friday when you play Norwich. We'll get to Norwich in a minute, but first of all, what's the mindset or what's the message that you would give to the group right now, Justin?
I think we're all a little bit antsy right now and just want to go score goals. Everybody kind of thinks, oh, we're just going to go out there and win. We're going to score some goals here and there. And kind of what we've forgotten to do is play defense. So we kind of got to rein that in and kind of get the guys understanding that the offense comes from good defense. And we can't keep getting into these 6-5, 7-3, 5-2 shootouts. Like, we need to rein in the goals against and just let our offensive talent take over from there.
And the numbers speak for themselves as you talk a little bit about that. You're looking at 18 goals in the last three games. With that said, opening night at home, you only gave up a couple. So I think it's one of those things where it's the ups and downs of the hockey season. Obviously, it's not the start that you or anybody was hoping for in Woodstock, but there's a lot of season left, obviously. And I think you guys can just focus on that. Is that something you're kind of thinking about? Is just, you know what, one foot in front of the other, we'll get out of this funk and Woodstock's going to be just fine.
Yeah, I mean, it is frustrating, like you said, when we scored 18 goals in what is it, 4 games or 5 games, and we have one win. Like we're averaging over 3 goals a game and just can't seem to find a way to come out on top. But that's kind of been the message I told the guys right from day one. What happens in September and October doesn't really matter. It's all about getting better and just finding something. It doesn't matter how small, we got to find something that we did really well and just build off of that because the only thing that really matters at the end of the day is the playoffs.
Bright spots. I'm going to point out a couple here. We're going to talk about McPherson, McGregor, and Eichenberg, who all scored their first junior goals over the weekend. Obviously, special moments for them. Maybe just touch on each of those young players and just their contribution and how happy you were to see them get those first junior goals. I know Kingston was super excited on Friday night at Southwood there.
Yeah, no, it's really nice to see them get past that milestone. For some, it comes a lot later, and that can kind of weigh on some guys. Um, Kinger's kind of been knocking on the doorstep a little bit in the couple games before, and it was nice to see him finally break through, and hopefully he can continue on with that. Um, I mean, Will's goal, I mean, he's a defenseman, and who knew he had hands like that? Like, we were all looking at each other on the bench, kind of like, did you see that? And then Eichenberg was just kind of hard work going to the net, banging in call it a garbage goal, but that's the gritty area and that's where goals happen. So
So you had 3 games in 5 days, obviously that stretch, and now you only have one this weekend against the Norwich Merchants. You saw there a couple of weeks ago. You had that game. You guys played really well. Obviously, penalties were a problem at the end, and then they won it in overtime. But it's fun when the Merchants and the Navy Vets get together. You never really know what to expect. You know you're gonna have to play 60 minutes because that's exactly how they're gonna play. What are you hoping Friday night's gonna be, and what do you want to say just about the matchup against the Merchants?
yeah, I mean there's always an excitement in the building when they come to town. There's always a little bit bigger of a crowd with it just being down the road and the rivalry from geez, I don't it goes back before I played.
Long before us.
Yeah, yeah, but no, it's always competitive and it's always nice to get those wins against them. It was tough dropping that one in overtime and with everything that happened there, but that's in the past. We won't get into that too much right now. But yeah, it's just we got to come out hard and take care of the D zone, like I said, and good things will happen from there. And with kind of the way things have been going, I think we just need to kind of have one where we break through and everybody can kind of breathe after that and off we go.
And that's hockey, right? You get one, it snowballs, everybody starts to believe again, and all of a sudden the momentum's there, and that's really how it starts to build, and that's how you put winning streaks together, and next thing you know, you're climbing up the standings. I think you and I have both seen that a million times, being around junior hockey. Last one for you, Justin, just to sense on the groove that you're finding. Like you said, it's your first year as the head coach of the Navy Vets. How are you adjusting? How are you enjoying it? And what are some of the things that you're learning, maybe just about yourself, being in this new role with the team?
I'd say I kind of didn't know I could be so serious. Thankfully, Knotts, Jensen, and Thompson are able to keep it pretty light, kind of when I don't need to be as serious, but sometimes they're tapping me on the shoulder and what are you stewing about? But it's just kind of, I want to make sure we're in a good place and that we're heading in the right direction, even though we're not getting bounces right now, that we're able to come out on the right side of those bounces in the future and when it matters. So it's just kind of taking everything and just almost organizing a little bit of where we want to go from here and where we expect to be and just kind of putting all that together just because we have started a little bit slower than expected and we kind of got to make some adjustments on the fly here. But
Expectations haven't changed, though, I would imagine, right? Nothing's changed in the mindset of you guys in terms of where you're trying to get to. This is still an excellent roster. You will bring out the best in them over the course of the season, and hopefully you're there at the end. I imagine that's what you're thinking about in your head, right?
yeah, for sure. Like we're already kind of caught with a little bit of an injury bug, and trying to just manage that as well has been a little bit of a challenge. Who's coming in, who's going here? Had a couple APs already play and all in three in one game. But I mean, hey, it's early and there's lots of hockey left. And one thing we've kind of been talking about as a staff is it's almost a little bit of a good thing that we're going through these tough times now, because we'd way rather be going through it now than in January or February. Because if we've never gone through something like this before, if all of a sudden we got down in 2-0 or 3-1 in a playoff series, if we've never been in that situation, you might as well just give the other team the series at that point, right? So at least this is going to kind of build some character for the guys, and when we come out on the other side, it'll be a lot more exciting and a lot more fun for them.
Always appreciate Justin's time, especially with the team in a little bit of a funk right now. They will look to get back on track this Friday night when the Norwich Merchants come to town, come to Southwood for the second time this season. As we take a look at the Navy Vets' upcoming schedule, as always, Friday night puck drop will be 7:45 at Southwood Arena. The Navy Vets and the Merchants. Norwich taking that first meeting a couple of weeks ago by a score of 4-3 in overtime. There is only one game for Woodstock this weekend. That's because they played on Tuesday night in Paris, so it will be a week in between games. Next Friday night, October 3rd, the Hespeler Shamrocks come to town for a 7:45 start. Then on Saturday night, the Navy Vets travel to Dorchester. They will face the Dolphins on October 4th at 7:30. Taking a look at the updated standings in the Doherty division, number one on top, the Norwich Merchants. So it will be a battle between 8th place in Woodstock and first place in Norwich on Friday night at Southwood. Second place right now, the Wellesley Applejacks. They're off to a good start. They have 6 points. Tavistock and Dorchester, both with 5 in fifth. The Hespeler Shamrocks with 4. Paris sitting in 6th with 4 points. And there you see in 7th and 8th place, the New Hamburg Firebirds and the Navy Vets, both sitting with 3 points in the latest Doherty division standings. We appreciate you taking the time to watch this week's episode of the Anchortown Report. We are here every week for news and information and analysis about the Navy Vets as well as teams around the Doherty division. We encourage you to head out to the rink this weekend. As always, support your local PJHL junior hockey team. Lots of action, lots of games, so make sure you head out this weekend. And we end this week's show taking a look at a special moment for the New Hamburg Firebirds. Last Friday night, they unveiled their South Conference Championship banner to the rafters at the Wilmot Rec Complex, and they also showcased their PJHL Doherty Division Championship banner as well. New Hamburg with a banner year last season. Right now, though, they're a little bit down in the Doherty Division standings. Lots of time left, lots of games to play. Hope you have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for watching this week's episode of the Anchortown Report. I'm Darren Stevenson. We'll see you soon.